Steve generally respects Ed Catmull. Ed Catmull is 10 years older than Steve, and the conversation with Steve and Ed is generally very complimenting, and they love to share ideas between each other. And Ed is a quite complementary personality of Steve. While Steve was aggressive, speaker personality, he wanted to conquer the world, create an impact, everything. Ed Catmull, on the other hand, was quite calm, and his demeanor, the calmness he possesses, attracts many people, because people felt that by talking to Ed, it was like talking to a friendly professor. So Ed was a very good people guy. While Ed and Steve started conversing, then Ed saw that Steve rejected their team and didn't listen to John Lasseter's story and pitch for animated short film. Ed told to Steve, "Steve, you have incredible way to upset people." And Steve raised a pause. Steve didn't say anything. And the ability you carry to see vision. Sometimes you're with people who are very powerful. You talk with founders, CEOs, investors. You have a habit of talking to powerful people, but when it comes for people who are not that powerful, you're very bad at them. Steve tells Ed, "I have sunk in $15 million already, and I don't see any future of this company. Why should I spend my time? My priorities are to build next generation computers. Focus there." Ed again took a big pause. He said, "Steve, people you talked to, people you met in the animation studios, those people are creative people, passionate about their work, and sometimes you don't have to do anything. You just listen and encourage them and let them what they need to do. So I would request you just be open. I already know what you need to do. You know it pretty well, and you will do the right thing." I just told this and kept quiet. Steve sinking all the information. He felt I think probably Ed is right. He went to the studio again with Ed, and the guy, the John Lasseter, who was the creative head of that animation studio person. He was a passionate guy. At the moment he went and talked to Steve, Steve was sitting just like you're sitting. John Lasseter came and he started narrating the story of the tin toy. John Lasseter has a story which he wanted to publish as a short anime film about a toy called Tin, who has so much of fear and who felt like a baby. So he was not mature enough, he wanted to grow, but he was struggled and he was an old toy. And the tin toy story, the way Lasseter explained to Steve, it brought goosebumps, and Steve got so passionate the way John is explaining and the people who were listening to him. Steve told, "Okay, let me give the last chance. I'll fund you $300,000. And then he told to John, make sure this is the great thing you do it." And he left. So Steve now started focusing on his other journey around next graphic, and he let John do whatever he did the best. And turned out the tin toys story of the tin was a hit. In fact, it was that hit that it got an Oscar award for the short film animation. And that's where Steve's vision, Steve's soul of having a hope on this team grew 10 folds high. In fact, one of the team parties Steve took after the Oscar event, he started sharing. He started being more open towards the team because the team did really good. And John took up a toast and told Steve, "You told that we wanted to make a great film, and I did it. Here you go." Steve was very happy, and he started sharing his concerns about Next as well. He never shared his concern what he had with Next company to this Pixar team, but he started sharing for some point of time. Then he moved on. So everything this happened, and this was such a huge success. Steve resumed, Ed resumed. Suddenly a call came from Disney's CEO, and Disney's CEO called John, congratulated for him an amazing Oscar film, and he offered a job that come and work with us, leave Pixar, come to us. And obviously when you grow and somebody else will give you an opportunity, you'll keep getting opportunity from multiple places. And although John did work with Disney maybe 10 years back, he was not properly welcomed or properly being nurtured with the Disney as a company. But today in UK, Disney is a very powerful giant. It's a big shark in terms of animated stories. And while Disney offered the job to John, John was confused. Like every one of us, when we get a good offer, multiple offers, we get confused. He went to Ed, and John and Ed had very good relationship. Because of the relationship, John went to Ed, to his office, I think in late of 1989, told Ed, he had something I need to discuss with you. I know Pixar is struggling financially, and I already have a feature film in my mind. Feature film and short film, only difference, the short film has about 15-20 minutes. Feature film is basically for long, it's just like a movie. So John had an idea of feature film, but he realized that Pixar didn't have enough resources right now. Financially, they're not doing well, although they have got Oscar award for the short film. And he told to Ed, I got a very good offer from Katzberg, who is a president at Disney, and I'm confused what to do. While I see that Steve and you believed in me to give an opportunity for the film, and I kind of made a good impact, but if I think about security, if I think about money, if I think about comfort life, I think Disney is going to offer. So I don't know. Ed definitely is a very calm-headed guy and very good in handling people. He asked the question to himself, okay John, that's really good news. How do you want to do that? And John started thinking. A few minutes he realized that at Pixar he has a chance to create history, but at Disney a chance to live a comfortable life. What do I want to do? Suddenly he got an idea. He thought, if Disney really wants me to work with them, how about cracking up a deal with Pixar and Disney that the next movie, whatever I'm doing, you have to fund Pixar so that I can work with the Pixar's team and produce a movie while you get a chance to work with me, and eventually if things goes well, probably I'll go there. And this was the idea that you're going to partner with rival, which was Disney at that point of time, with Pixar. He thought whether Steve would agree to it, because Steve was the investor who bought the company. And John and Ed were like, okay, let's convince Steve and bring him on board as well. So when they went to Steve, and unlike the other Steve, the Steve which was 10 years old when he left Apple, who was very aggressive, who would even hear your idea if he doesn't believe in your idea, this time it was surprising. He in fact encouraged the idea what John and Ed brought to him. In fact, he thought few more intricacies to the deal, so that the deal between Pixar and Disney becomes much stronger and profitable to both of them. So Steve already knew that Pixar was not in a financial situation. So how about striking a deal with Disney that they would support with all the production costs, whatever the costs would require for this next movie. And I didn't tell you what the next movie was. The feature film name was Toy Story. So he went there, struck the deal with the Disney CEO there, and he told, we will take care of all the technical part of it. You fund us the non-technical part of it, so that eventually when something becomes better, we both benefit out of it. And generally negotiations with Steve, with other people, is very short. Steve is very short. He is very less patient with people. When he thinks it is not doing good to Steve, generally he backs out, he just leaves. But in this case, he worked for almost 2 months just to figuring out a proper deal with Disney CEO. Eventually they signed the deal. In fact, even that was struggle for the whole Pixar team. While doing the film arrangements for the Toy Story, Disney had a different thought process of the character named Woody. Woody was a hat who was a lovely leader around the people. Disney had a thought process that Woody should be an edgy, sarcastic leader, which will give fun to the movie. But John had different thoughts. John thought Woody should be lovely, Woody should be enjoyable, Woody should be charming around people, and that will create positivity. So now, because the whole funding is coming from Disney, out of the pressure of Disney, John basically put all those changes, what original story he started and the producing the story which he produced. Internally, when they released the movie, it didn't do well. And then Disney started blaming Pixar. Because of you, didn't do well. I think you should shut down the production and just go home. It was a big shocker for John, and John was really, really bad. I think I let down Ed and Steve. And while he was feeling bad, he told Steve, this is what happened and what to do next. Another transformation. Unlike the old Steve, who would have again lashed out over his own team that it's your mistake. Why didn't you tell in the past before? What have you done right now? Just scrap it, close it down. This Steve stood for his people. He fought for Pixar's team and he told Disney it's your fault. You made the changes. Now give us a control. We will bring the original story which we thought through and we'll trust on us. It will do really great. Now this conflicts and this created a lot of delays in releasing the film. While it was about to release in probably 1991, now it released in 1992. With a one and a half year delay because of this internal conflicts. And as we all know, the movie did really, really good. And all of the Disney and Pixar made a lot of money, a lot of marketing, and each company wanted the recognition. Now Disney, after the movie went good, Disney started telling it was us that we gave everything to the team and the team did good. But Steve realized that Pixar needs that credibility as an independent animation studio to thrive and grow to the next level of legacy which he always aspired to be. And eventually Steve came up with a plan to make Pixar public so that they can survive through money. And that's when the whole story of Pixar and the next and Steve's transformation started.